Today I want to direct your attention to a passage from the 26th chapter of Matthew. It's an incident that happens very near to the end of Jesus' life, not long before he is betrayed by Judas. And it's in Matthew 26, verses 6 through 13. And this incident is reported in different ways in all four of the Gospels. So that tells us, okay, this is something pretty significant because all four of the Gospel writers thought it was important enough to include. And Jesus is in Bethany, which is right next to Jerusalem, right in the vicinity. Matthew says he's in the home of Simon the leper. And a woman comes in with an alabaster jar of very costly ointment. And she poured it on Jesus' head as he sat at the table. And it says when the disciples saw it, they were angry and said, "Why this waste? For this ointment could have been sold for a large sum and the money given to the poor." But Jesus, aware of this, said to them, "Why do you trouble the woman? She has performed a good service for me, for you always have the poor with you." And let me pause there and say, this is not a reason not to help the poor. Jesus isn't saying that. He's just saying, unfortunately, in this world, there are always going to be poor people. There are going to be people who don't have enough resources, who need our help. And that's what we have a deacons fund for, is to assist people in need. And we do that all the time, all year round. But the point is not that there will always be poor people who need help. Of course, there's going to be. But Jesus says, "But you will not always have me. By pouring this ointment on my body, she has prepared me for burial. Truly I tell you," this is the verse of the day, verse 13. "Truly I tell you, wherever this good news is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her." Now, if you think about the Gospels, the act of this unnamed woman wins higher praise from Jesus than almost any other person he comments on. You could make the argument that there's a Roman soldier who Jesus says, "Even in Israel I have not found such faith." But certainly you can make the argument that this woman, no one's praised more by Jesus or in a higher way than this unnamed woman. And in one sense, I think it's too bad we don't know her name, because what she did is remembered by the disciples, and they all record it in their Gospels. And I wish I knew what her name was. But there's a sense in which her being unnamed can also be a positive, because there's a sense in which, well, any of us could be that woman, if you will. Any of us can be thinking, what can we do for Jesus today? At that moment in his life, she symbolically did something to prepare Jesus for burial. It was a symbol of what was going to happen. But she also did it at great personal cost. What she did was an act of both incredible love and incredible generosity, as the disciples noted that this could have been sold for a large sum of money, and that money could have been given to help the poor. So this unnamed woman and her story that's always told in remembrance of her is a reminder to us of how can I give to and serve Jesus in love and generosity today.